Alright, so this is not like a new point of discussion to be had, but oddly enough, it's remained relevant over whatever many years since it popped up, and that, of course, is the internal conflict I feel when I have to post content around my music. And, well, listen, I don't have to do anything. I don't have to be posting little dumb videos, like short form videos. I don't have to do any of that. I really don't. I have free will. But the fact of the matter is, you should do that. It could be argued that you need to do that if you want to make it as a music artist. I know there are other careers in music, of course. You could be a session musician, you could be a producer, you could be a mix engineer, like you could be a live sound guy or stage type of guy. It's not like if you're a musician you have to be an artist, right? But that's what I want to do. I want to be an artist. I want to create and sell it, and that's how I make my living, so I can create more and keep sharing it. But I do feel over the past, since 2020, let's say, where social media just became a mainstay for it. Actually, how do I say this? It became from like the internet was its own thing to the internet is everything. Internet is reality almost. So the way people discover music is through the internet rather than, say, I don't know, radio stations. I mean, it's kind of weird to think about, but like people were still listening to the radio in the 2010s. People were still buying CDs in the more early 2010s, but still so. That just doesn't happen anymore. And times change. You can call me young, but times change, I know. Now the way to do it, whether I like it or not, is to promote on the internet. And there's really no other way around it. And I'm just conflicted because on one hand, I want to be an artist. I want to make a living off of my art. I want to do this. But on the other hand, it almost feels like I'm devaluing my art by shortening it to 15-second clips or whatever and making a sort of light out of it. You can't be too serious. You're going to scare people away, all that, right? Again, I don't have to do anything. I want to make that clear. Like, you can tell me to stop, and you're completely right. I guess for context, I do post on TikTok like twice a week. I don't scroll TikTok. I don't use TikTok otherwise. I post clips of my live show, my rehearsals, and just like little clips I do. Always with my music. I'm not doing trends or covers or anything. I just don't want to do that. And it's been okay. It's been okay. And then obviously on this platform, YouTube, I'm filming these fun little videos, which I do like. I do like it. I do it this way. As you can obviously see, there's no fancy editing. There's no nothing. And I like to do it this way. It's just fun for me to do it this way. And then on Instagram, I was, excuse me, posting like once per week, just a little reel of the stuff I've been working on. I built this studio that you're seeing I'm sitting in right now, and I just kind of documented that process through Instagram Reels, and it was good. I did feel, however, that these weekly videos were just like a time suck that didn't really pan out in the way that I had hoped for. And I did it for a year, so you can't say I didn't try. Consistently for about a year, didn't miss a week, maybe for like Christmas because I was out of town, but regardless. But during that whole period, and I mentioned TikTok, I started that in January of this year, 2026. But during this whole period of me making, especially short form content, I just feel that conflict of like, why am I doing this? I feel like less of an artist doing this almost. And with these long form videos, again, I think it's fun. I do feel a lot better about it, but I wouldn't be making these if I feel like I didn't have to, in a way. Obviously, I'm not directly promoting my songs. You're not going to hear any of my music, at least in this video. But hold on, I lost my train of thought. 1 second. Alright, I think I remembered what I was going to say. And that is that when I decided to make a career in music, woof, my voice, make a career in music as an artist, I actually dropped out of engineering school back in 2021 because I love music. It is what I feel like I should do in life, and it's my reason for waking up every single day. But when I made that decision, I knew like there's gonna be some stuff that I don't like, that I might even hate. But in order to do the thing I like, the thing I love, I have to do the things that I don't love. It's a package deal, right? Part of that I can live with. Like, I gotta file taxes as a LLC, so that's a whatever 1099 form. That could be entirely wrong, and I just made an ass of myself on camera. But I have to do that, and I can live with that because that allows me to not be in jail and pay my dues, so to speak, as a citizen. But that much I can live with. I can live with. That's gonna sound weird. Doing live shows. So I don't have a band or anything. I do all my shows on my own. I have a crazy light setup. A couple videos ago, I was programming some lights while I was filming a video like this. But again, funnily enough, as weird as it sounds, I like the studio more. I think I can perform. People tell me that I do it well. Excuse me. And I do enjoy it when I'm up there. But the truth is that it's so much preparation. It's so much it's just so much preparation, and it's just a lot. I like it, but it's just a lot. I love the studio more. But the shows, I can do that. Even if might not be my favorite thing, I can do that. I should do that. I can live with that. Now, when it comes to social media, I understand that, like, again, it's a package deal. I gotta do some of this. But certain parts of it, it's just like, I don't know. I don't know about that one. Like YouTube, I can do this. TikTok, eh. Instagram, I already tapped out. But it's that dilemma of like, is this really what I want to do? And again, like if we compare it to previous decades, obviously they didn't have social media, they didn't have any of this. But they still had to do things they didn't want to do, I assume. Like, you probably had to participate more in, like, Battle of the Bands and things like that. You have to participate in talent shows a lot more, maybe hop in some open mics. I think any self-respecting artist that would not be their first choice in how they'd want to perform. Maybe that's a bit, like, egotistical to say, but, like, you got to do that. That's how you get a start. You got to pay your dues, and then you hopefully build an audience around that, and then you can start playing legitimate shows. So there's always been that element, I feel. Again, I'm talking from secondhand experience. If there's anyone older out there who's watching this video, let me know how it was. But, like, I think I can confidently say it's a package deal, right? There are things that you have to do, and there are things you don't want to do but still have to do, and so I can accept that. But it's almost like there's so much things out there about how short form content is like ruining our attention spans, which I'm sure I don't have to pull up research to have you believe me on that, but it's almost like we're selling I'm not gonna, I don't know, we're selling like hardcore drugs and being like, hey guys, or no, it's even before that. It's like, all right, guys, hardcore drugs are ruining our attention spans, just ruining our lives. They're ruining our lives, and it's the biggest issue of our generation, and this and this. And then turning around and being like, oh yeah, here, I have some hardcore drugs to sell to you. Please buy my hardcore drugs. It doesn't make sense to me. I don't know. I hope that really made sense because it doesn't make sense to me. That's my that's my issue with that I have with posting short form content. And again, I'm trying to do it the way that I want to do it. I understand that can only get me so far, but I have my peace. I have my peace I can live with by doing it my way and not contributing to the problem. It's almost like, when you see a video with 1 million views, it's hard time. I have a hard time thinking of those views as views because they just scroll, especially on TikTok. They just scroll, so there's no choice. And like, I click on this video. Another thing about YouTube is that you clicked on this video, and if you're watching, I've just been rambling, so thanks for hearing me out here. But 1 million views on TikTok is more like 1 million victims, right? I mean, think about that. They just found your video while they were zoop, right? I think that when it comes to short form content, when it's like infinite scroll type of thing, you could have the most informative, entertaining, engaging video that might actually provide value in people's lives. You could have that, you could post that, and at the same time, every person who sees that video would have been better off not seeing it. And that makes me sad because, again, I want a career, but I don't want to make stuff that people are better off not seeing. I'd rather put that energy towards music and giving people something that's hopefully valuable to them and worth re-listening. I mean, you're not gonna, maybe in very rare cases, but a piece of content is just out there and then it's irrelevant. It's just on to the next thing. Music is the exact opposite. You put it out there, I mean, ideally you put it out there, and it's going to be continued, it's going to continue to be enjoyed for years and decades to come. But that's just me ranting about social media, I guess. I don't have much to say more than that, or maybe I do, but my brain is a little sad after that talk. But sure, let me know what you guys think. Be nice to me, I guess, if you're gonna disagree, because, well, how about this? Let's have a discussion if you disagree with me. Yeah. Cool. All right, I'm gonna put it there. Good night.